As a family game player in The Sims, we got a new roadmap for the next couple of months that simulates that we're going to get fairies in the game. I personally don't play with a lot of occults, but I wanted to build something in nature, by nature, that was enchanted. And the new pack is called Enchanted by Nature. And so I wanted to build a fairy themed house in The Sims 4 just so I can kind of get an idea of what we're working with. But I built this like 2 weeks ago. So here we go. Now, as a person who doesn't play with a lot of occults in The Sims 4, I do have a lot of fun playing with like landscaping, plants, and just like random cluttered builds. And I have been rewatching all of the Tinkerbell movies and like a lot of different movies that have like occults, like vampires, fairies, mermaids, the whole thing. And I've always loved those type of shows and movies growing up, especially H2O, Just Add Water from Nickelodeon, iconic. But ever since we kind of got like hints here and there about like fairies come to The Sims 4, enchanted by nature, the whole idea from like that random website that they made, but then also the roadmap, it has got me thinking that I really want to try my hand at building something in Hemford on Bagley, but then also try my hand at having my Sims be true, like freelance botanists, really getting one with nature, touching grass every once in a while, just so I can kind of play around with a lot of the cottage living, outdoor retreats, and even a lot of base game. Like me and plants are like two and two. We are like besties out here. I will always have an excuse to play with plants, clutter, but also really make the whole entire build look homegrown, overgrown, whatever you want to really call it, and just have a lot of fun. And I built this all on stream a couple of like weeks ago during our St. Jude charity fundraiser. And by the way, we raised over $10,000 in less than like 21 days, which is wild. And so I want to thank you all for like helping me raise this amount of money. We did this together. I did not do it alone, but we raised over $10,000, which is the most we have raised in the past 6 years of our charity fundraisers for St. Jude. So I thank you. I appreciate you. And I cannot wait to see what we can do next year, especially if we could like raise even more. If we can, cool. But I'm just so happy that we got to do that for the month of May, and a lot of really cool things came out of it as well. But overall, when I built this on stream, I was so excited because when I get a chance to like play with a lot of plants and debug, I get so excited. Debug is a very, very scary place for me because there's too many things in this game. New packs that come out add new variety of items, which I love, but then it adds in new debug things that normally our Sims cannot use. They just walk right through it, which is fine, but the idea of it scares me because when there's a lot of things, I get overwhelmed, but then like, ooh, where do I start? Do I add this one? Do I add that one? Like I found a random log with mushrooms on it in cottage living and the bramble tree from base game. I was like, I have to use all of this to really capture the idea that I wanted to do. And granted, this is a very small house. It's very open floor plan. The bedroom, kitchen, living room, and like dining room area are all in the same place, but the only like separated quarters is the bathroom. And so I felt I wanted to do something relatively small, and I was thinking Pixie Hollow. I was thinking of like a lot of the Winx Club TV shows and movies that I've watched growing up. And I was like, how do I replicate that in The Sims, but in my own building style? And I do believe I did a pretty good job on this build because I wanted to make sure that this house, this whole thing, had everything from every pack that was whimsical, magical, just had that enchanted by nature vibe. And I feel like I accomplished it pretty well. But knowing me, I'm like, I could have added this to a bigger lot and added more things. But then there's another side of me was like, if you do that, you'll never finish it. So I decided to only add it to a very small-ish lot on the top right-hand corner of the Hemford on Bagley map. And it was like a pretty good location. Now, I added in a lot of things from the like the fairs that we have with cottage living. I don't really go to them because I feel like they're always rigged against my Sims. I feel like my Sims are always talented, gifted, farmers, ranchers, whatever you want to call it, but all of the like produce that you get from it is so cool. Like The build and buy in that pack is great. I love the cast items. The gameplay side of it all is really cool, but the fairs are not always my favorite. I think it's because I don't play with the actual like, llamas and cows and chickens to like do all that fun stuff. But buying the stuff from the grocery store in that pack is so cool. But the overgrown, oversized like watermelon, mushrooms, pumpkins, eggplants are like insanely huge. And, like, I'm thinking you grow it, but, like, do your Sims eat it? Like, the concept does not come to my head. Like, sure, a small watermelon, you cut it up, you eat it, but an oversized one, like, how does that work? Like, what happens after that? Like, it's so weird. I think because 'cause I've never actually had a Sim make a lot of overgrown produce, I usually just sell it and, like, go about my day. So I never really know what happens after the fact. So I think I might have one of my Sims like live in this build or something like a fairy or whatever and have like overgrown, oversized produce and see what could happen. And I had so much fun with this build. Like if you don't watch my streams or you just don't really like watch my videos half of the time, I mean, if you're watching this, you know. But I have so much fun with clutter. Clutter and debug and me are like 2 and 2. We have a lot of fun together. Debug is scary, but I love them either way. And I grew up watching a lot of like movies and TV shows that had like overgrown, abandoned looking things like The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, like that video game is really great. Things like that always interest me because I'm like, what did the building look like before it was ruined? And how did it get to this like so bad? Or like so good, depending on what the situation was. But I always found whimsical fairy builds so unique. And I always had so much fun like researching it and like getting ideas from it. I have like a whole Pinterest board and a whole like Milanote board of like ideas for builds that I want to do in The Sims, but I'm only one person and I can't do everything, but I can only dream that I could. But now that we have the roadmap for The Sims, like for the next couple of months, I mean, we're getting the brand new trailer next week on June 12th, and then we're getting a gameplay trailer, then we're getting a base game update on June 1st, and then another base game update in August, a Sims board game. Like, there's so many things that we're getting, at least in the span of like 2-ish months that is kind of overwhelming, but in a good way. But all I can say, we're gonna go broke for The Sims. We hate to see it, but I'm gonna go broke for The Sims. I've been playing this game for 25 years. The Sims 4 alone is over $1,000, and that's just downright crazy. I don't want to think about how much I have spent on The Sims for the past 25 years. That number is too large because there are times where I buy the packs twice or I buy multiple packs for like giveaways and things like that, or I just buy the packs myself because I just don't want to wait. And I'm like, I need it now. I have to pre-order it now. I got to do all this now before anything else happens. And I don't really buy things on sale, but if I do, it's like I'll wait and see what I can do with it. But I'm telling you, we spent a lot of money on this franchise and it's quite pricey. But I have my select few that I really love. Like I'm a ride or die Sims 2 fan all the way through. And honestly, I really love Sims 3 Generations and Seasons. There's a lot of really interesting packs that I love about The Sims 4 that really make my creativity like I think differently in The Sims 4. I build differently, I do my gameplay differently, and I'm always so inspired to do something new or the same, depending on what the style that I want to go for that day. And I feel as like occults are like in like not an after well, it is an afterthought in my mind because I don't really play with them that much, but I do find them so unique because I treat them as like a Halloween costume type of thing, like vampires, werewolves, spellcasters, if we ever get fairies, if it's a real thing. The things like that just don't like interest me that much, but I like the idea of them that they exist. So I always think like, oh, one of these days my Sims are going to study like the occults or study to become one an occult. Because there's like occult studies like in real life schools. And then of course I've watched Vampire Diaries, H2O, Just Add Water, Winx Club. I've seen the Winx TV show on Netflix. I've seen the Sabrina series, the old one and the new one. I've seen every single supernatural TV show movie known to man. even the random seasons of Riverdale when they all had special powers, that was odd. So that and then that was there. But I always found fairies so unique because they could manipulate people's emotions. They could help with plants. They could help with making people fly sometimes. They could help with people falling in love. They could be nice, but they can also be mischievous. And they have the power to change someone's life to be good or bad. And I also think that at the same time with The Sims 4, we could have that. We could have a skill tree that gives us a lot of unique things that can make them good or bad, but then also simulate where they could help with everyday life, emotions, plants, medicine type things. And then I also hope that one day, like if they include into this pack plant sims in some type of way, that will be so much fun. Because if you don't remember this, a couple of years ago, we had an event, and I don't remember what it was really for at all, but they introduced plant sims into the Sims 4, and it was more like an event, and they were just like there and gone. But you can still become a plant sim because like there's this tree object in base game, and you have to find like these special seeds. And if you find all of them, you put them in the tree, and then it becomes like this gigantic tree. And then you do something, and you eat something, and then you're a plant sim. I believe you have different needs, I'm pretty sure. I haven't been one in a while, but I do have to say when being a plant sim in The Sims 2, I loved it. It was very basic for what it was back then, don't get me wrong. But then I'm like, how will they really incorporate plant sims into The Sims 4 as a permanent thing? So my thinking is that fairies, gnomes, plant sims are all going to be a thing in the game. I don't think gnomes are going to be an actual like a cult where they're like active where you can do things with them, but they might be helpful in some type of way to help with like your garden maybe. But then fairies might be like the main focus, and plant sims will be there on like on the side doing whatever. But I really hope that we do have like unique things for new occult. And I would think this is probably the last occult that we'll probably get. I mean, the only one that we don't really have right now, at least besides like hopefully fairies, is zombies. And we had zombies in The Sims 2 and 3, but granted, I'm not joking. I would always delete, like shift click delete those Sims immediately because they would eat my plants and attack my Sims. And I said, no, boo boo, no, honey, boo boo. We don't have time for that. You're gone. Get out of my house, get out of my garden. So if we ever get zombies, you know for sure, well, I'm making a zombie apocalypse in The Sims 4 because I grew up watching a lot of The Walking Dead, and I've played throughout the entire Walking Dead video game series at 100% all the way straight through, except Michonne, which I still have to play through that game to get 100%, and the final season of The Walking Dead with Clem and AJ. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think we're going to get in this pack? Because we have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of things that we want to see in The Sims. So if you want fairies, what are you going to do with them? If you don't want fairies, what do you want else besides them? But I will say, I think if I added this build to a bigger lot, I probably would have added in like another side part. Because like towards the end of this build, what I ended up doing that was kind of a last minute thing is I added in this magical portal because we do have secret worlds in The Sims 4. We have one with Realm of Magic, we have two with base game, and we even have one with, I guess you technically call Get to Work, but it's not a secret world, but you can travel to the, I guess in a way it is because it's Sixum from Get to Work. And I was like, ooh, okay, maybe Hemford on Bagley has like a secret world that we don't know about that your only like fairy sims can travel to or whatever. But it's like, ooh, the possibilities are endless. So I added in like this magic portal from Realm of Magic because I thought it was so cool. And I tried to add it to like the actual like log tree, but it was glitching on me. So I decided to add it onto the side and pretend like your Sims will go right through it. You'll be fine. And I think your Sims can actually go to it and go to the magic realm if you click on that archway thing. I'm pretty sure. I cannot fully remember. But I will say all the unique things that we have been getting in like debug has been so much fun to make the builds more lived in and more just like organic, if that's like the right word to use, but they just feel more alive. And I'll have any excuse to always use random stuff that makes no sense, but if it adds character to the build, I'm gonna do it. All of my suburban family homes always have unique clutter in them. So I really love like outdoor, I loved everyday clutter kit, outdoor retreat. I loved even the bathroom clutter kit, the kitchen clutter kit was so helpful. And I can't fully remember if I did this build before or after the kitchen clutter kit. I can't fully remember because I did like a part two to a stream of like finishing it off. So I think I had kitchen clutter. If I didn't, oh well. I can have another excuse to do another build just like this again. But overall, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions on what you want to see in The Sims 4. Like if you had the opportunity to make your very own like kit or pack or collaborate on a pack with the Sims team, what would you want and why? Like give me a full detailed list so that way, one, if they're watching and reading the comments, they got it. But hey, putting our ideas out there, manifesting, I mean, it has to work some way, somehow, okay? Manifestation works. If you put it out there into the universe, most likely it will eventually come true. And like I always say, the worst thing they could say is no or like not at this time, but they never said, you know, it can never happen, just not at this time. And now that I'm thinking, I feel like I may have forgotten to paint a piece of the wall of my roof and it's bugging me and I can see it right then and there. Ooh. And when I built this on stream, someone had said, like, why is there a coffin? Is it like a vampire living on this lot? I'm like, no, 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 no. I would just say like a fairy died and there's a casket for them to sleep in. But imagine if we had an opportunity to have hybrids in The Sims 4. Just think about it. I mean, if you've seen Vampire Diaries or the originals or Legacies, actually, if you've just seen any of those shows, you just know. I mean, Hope Michelson, she is a werewolf, vampire, and witch. She is a tribrid. That is dangerous power right there. But imagine if we ever had hybrids, it would be so cool to have a fairy vampire sim wreaking havoc in The Sims. But I don't think it'll ever happen. But hey, never say never. But overall, I'm going to go into the game and show you all the build in real time because I think seeing it with your very eyes in like real time will give you an idea of what I was working with and what I was trying to do, especially with all of the plants and clutter items throughout the entire build. But let's go ahead and go into the game. So now that we're in the game, this is what my build looks like, and I think it's quite stellar, mainly because it's surrounded by trees, but then also next to it, a gigantic waterfall in Hempford on Bagley. I think I did a really good job on this one. I don't normally always toot my own horn here, but I feel an overgrown build just like this can only get bigger. And trust me, it probably will in the future when I do another build just like this when the new EP comes out next month. I had so much fun with this build of adding in every single decor piece I could think of, from cottage living, outdoor retreat, realm of magic, even like some base game stuff and like onesie twosie stuff from other packs. And I tried to limit myself, but then I really wanted to do a very creative build that I don't normally do from time to time. But this is what I was mentioning over here, like this realm of magic portal. I'm pretty sure that when your Sims like step through it, they'll go to the magic realm in Glimmerbrook. And I wanted to have a little pathway leading to that spot so your Sims can walk over here, go through the portal and go to the Glimmerbrook area. And then we have the truck over here from Cottage Living with all the produce in the back of the truck. And everything won't really spoil because most of it is either debug or it's actually like livable plants. Most likely this mushroom will end up being spoiled in like 7 days, but the majority of it is all pretty much good to go. But I like the generalness of like how filled it up is in the back of the truck. And then over here I have like a little like magic quarters. I was gonna utilize it for other things, so I decided to only add in the bee box and some little poster things on the wall. And I might switch it out for something different when I play through it myself. But for right now, I want to add in like a little bee box. It's kind of like a little mini Rapunzel tower, if you will. Plus you have like little windows you can see out of. and do other things with it. You could also add in a ladder in here if you wanted to have like a little mini second floor, but you can still have the first floor and be kind of good to go. You can also make it into a little tiny home if you wanted to, if you download this build. And then up here is like the main place where you can do all of your flower arranging. Maybe go a little Betty by, a little sleepy sleep, unless if you're a vampire and need a casket or your sim died, they've got a place to rest their little head and feet. But there's a little casket over here, flower arranging table here. Your sims can walk up these stairs to get up here, and everything is completely usable. I play tested this build off camera just to kind of see if it all looks good, and it does. But I really, really like this area. And this is actually the Bramable Delightful tree that we got with base game. And I don't really think your sims can actually utilize this at all. I can't fully remember exactly what we got to get this tree, but I'm not mad. And I actually do kind of like the idea of it and how big and luscious it is. I also added in the animal shed. So in case if you want your sims to own a cow or a llama, they can also do that over here. I also added in a garden plot over here so that your sims can grow some more produce. We have an apple tree, we have a pear, we also have a lemon tree, a cherry tree, and then I laid out some more produce like pumpkins. I believe this is like choco berries. We have some blueberries, and I believe these are also raspberries. So you have a plethora of plants you can grow here, but mostly the pumpkins will be more overgrown. Eventually be overgrown if you give them the overgrown fertilizer. Oh, here's the fireflies right here. And then we have the trash bin, the message board for Hemford and Bagley, the utility panel just in case if there's a fire. You'll have automatic sprinklers. We have the nectar making station over here in the back. A nice little swampy area with a wheel that will eventually turn in live mode. I also have some more fireflies back here. I kind of want to make like Shrek's swamp in The Sims 4, or like somewhat like it, because with the new Nature's Calling event that we're going to get in the next couple of weeks, there's like an actual outhouse as one of the rewards, and I want to utilize it in the best way possible, but then do some type of like rags to riches, living off the land, off the grid type of let's play, because I love being broke in The Sims and I want to try and utilize all those items to the best of my ability, but we'll see. But on the inside is where the true magic happens. I wanted to make sure that it looked like someone actually lived here. It had a lot of clutter, stains, things everywhere against the wall and on the floor. And so the main living, sleeping area is over here. I added in this base game bed. I also added in some storage boxes, some pumpkins, some trellises, some photo collage frames, even adding in the vintage radio, the wardrobe, and some other lights, and even cross stitching. There is a cat that lives here, so we have a pet bed, a scratching post, another chair, just in case your sim wants to sit and do cross stitching, or the cat can scratch it as well. We also have a TV, a burglar alarm because your sims will get robbed if you're not careful, a nice little broom. We have this love seat right here that is I'm liking you. I'm liking you. You know, for the longest time, I don't look at some of the object titles, and I'm just, whoever comes up with the titles and descriptions of these objects deserves a raise, because sometimes they're downright funny and it just goes over my head sometimes. But I'm liking you. They should have been, where have you been, Loca? They should have done that. Given some Twilight reference, you know? But we have this love seat. We have the nice Hemford on Bagley cottage living rug. We have a little stain on the floor. They have the fireplace, the trash can that makes you money. We also have the guitar, some pictures, and the full-blown kitchen that is honestly probably one of my favorites. I love this fridge. I love the stove. I love this sink. And now that I'm remembering, I did have the kitchen clutter kit when I did the second part of this build. So the sink and also the side sink essentials, this lovely oven mitts are also from the kitchen clutter kit alongside with the cookie jar. And I believe something else as well. Oh, this right here, the mug tree, is from the kitchen clutter kit. And you could not do anything wrong with adding in a nice mouse hole into the build to give it that nice overgrown in the woods off the grid feel, you know? So I added in a mouse hole into the build. We have our dining room table. Only 2 Sims can live here because honestly, it is already cramped enough in here that if you fit in a 3rd Sim, I'd be like, you a wizard, because how? And then over here is a teeny tiny bathroom that your Sims can go to the toilet, take a shower, and wash their hands and get out. And I'm really glad that we have a lot more of these like one tile showers because one, they don't take a lot of space, and two, they're very unique. And I hope that we do get more of these in the future because we don't really have that many options. We have only 4 of them. And we have other showers. They're not bad. They're nice, but I like having a standalone shower without having any doors around it, just in case if I want to live off the grid and I have something like that, then I can utilize those a lot more. But I like that I added in this a nice little sink and also a toilet, and then another mouse hole in the bathroom to add some extra critter friendliness to the build, if you will. But overall, that is the entire build. If you do want to download it, it's already up on the gallery under the hashtag SpringSims or my gallery ID, which is also SpringSims as well. But as always, I do hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought, especially what do you think if we're going to get fairies in this new expansion pack? Because personally, I think we are, but I really am curious of what your thoughts are, especially now that we have the roadmap. But as always, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!